Welcome back, amazing thinkers. I'm Sue Sabella, your Great Minds teacher, and I'm so excited to continue to learn and grow with you. Let's see what we need for today. Today you'll need a color of his own, assessment 17, which is the focusing question task 3, your journal, and your pencil. So pause here to gather what you need and just hit play when you're ready to continue. I love words, and I love to think about words too, and I bet you do too. One of the words that we're going to be thinking about today is the word problem. And problem does not always mean something bad. Problem can also mean challenge. And challenges are good. They help us grow. Challenges also help characters grow in their understanding about themselves and grow in their understanding about the world, just like us. So today we're going to dig into the word problem, but remember, we can also put the word challenge in its place, so it's much more positive. It doesn't always mean a bad thing. So here we go. Let's be detectives together. As we're doing some detective work today, here's the question that'll help guide our thinking. What does looking at the problem and resolution reveal to us? So another way of saying this question is, what does looking at the problem and resolution tell us as readers? We read about the chameleon's problem at the beginning of the story. Now we'll go back and look more closely at how the story begins. As I reread the first 3 sentences of the text on this handout, I'd like you to read along silently. Here we go. Parrots are green, goldfish are red, elephants are gray, pigs are pink. All animals have a color of their own except for chameleons. They change color wherever they go. Now I want you to think about this question. What does the phrase, a color of their own, mean? And how is it important in this story? Pause here to think or to discuss this question with your learning partner, and just hit play when you're ready to continue. This phrase means that all animals have a special color that makes them unique. This is important to know because Chameleon does not have a color of his own, and he wants one. How does Leo Leone, the author, introduce the chameleon's problem to the reader? Go back and read those 3 sentences to yourself and pause to think or discuss this with your learning partner. Then just hit play to continue. Okay, get ready, detectives. I want you to think about this one. How did Leo Leone introduce the problem to us at the beginning of the story? How did he use these 4 animals to help us think about Chameleon's problem or challenge? Pause here to think for a bit, and then just hit play when you're ready to continue. By introducing these 4 animals to us, we could understand how Chameleon might have felt alone and also different from the other animals. I'd like you to do some reading and thinking on your own before we do some reading and thinking together. Read what's here, and also I need you to think like a detective. Look more closely at how the chameleon first tries to solve his problem at the beginning of the story. In the beginning of the story, what does he do to try to solve his problem? Pause to read and think, and then just hit play when you're ready to continue. At the beginning of the story, the chameleon tried to solve his problem by climbing onto a green leaf. But it was fall, and we know what happens to leaves in the fall. Shout out, what happened to that leaf? The leaf changed color, so he changed color too. At the beginning of the story, the chameleon did not solve his problem. As detectives, we looked closely at the beginning of the story to see how Chameleon tried to solve his problem. Now, as detectives, we're going to take a close look at the end of the story to see again how Chameleon tries to solve his problem. Read along silently as I read the words out loud. And so they remained side by side. Remained means stayed, so that means they stayed side by side. They were green together, and purple, and yellow, and red with white polka dots, and they lived happily ever after. In the end, how does the chameleon try to solve his problem? What happened at the end? Pause here to think or to discuss this with your learning partner, and just hit play when you're ready to continue. At the end of the story, Chameleon finally solved his problem. He solved his problem when he met the older, wiser chameleon, and they decided to stay together. As they stayed together, they changed color together, and Chameleon realized it's okay if you don't have a color of your own. Chameleon actually learned a lot by going through this challenge. We're going to stop and jot here in your journal. So I'd like you to get your journal and pencil ready. Pause if you need to for a minute to get your materials ready, and then just hit play when you're ready to continue. The question we'd like you to think about is here. How are the chameleon's two attempts to solve his problem different? Remember, the chameleon tried to solve his problem one time at the beginning and another time at the end. So those were the two attempts that we should be thinking about and jotting down about. The question again is, how are the chameleon's two attempts to solve his problem different? Pause here, and it may be for a while, so you can think and jot in your journal. Just hit play when you're ready to continue. You're truly becoming experts in gathering evidence to support your thinking. It's also very important to choose evidence carefully when you'd like to include it in your writing. You'll be writing a paragraph to respond to this question. If you're writing a paragraph, you'll have a topic statement where your paragraph begins. What topic statement could you write for this paragraph? And what will your paragraph be about? There are many possible topic statements that could be written to respond to this question. There are three possible topic statements right here on the screen. I'd like you to pause so you can read over each one and decide for yourself which one do you think is the best topic statement. Go ahead and pause so you can read and think and perhaps even discuss with your learning partner. Then just hit play when you're ready to think through it together. Let's think through each sentence. Let's start with the first one. The chameleon changes from yellow to purple. Would that be a strong topic statement? Is it telling me all about change and what the whole paragraph could be about and change over the course of the whole story? Not really. It's giving me one example of change. Maybe I could use it as evidence, but it's not probably the sentence I would choose for a topic statement. Let's take a look at the second one. At first, the chameleon is very sad. Again, that's correct. The chameleon was sad at the beginning. But it's more like evidence that I might include in my paragraph, and it's not so much a topic statement that's giving me the big idea for a paragraph about how the chameleon changed. Let's go to the third sentence. The chameleon changes from the beginning to the end of the story. That sounds like a topic statement. It's giving me the big idea, the essential idea of what my paragraph would be about, because my paragraph would be about change over the course of a story from beginning to end. I think we found our topic statement. Here's the change chart that we created together for a color of its own. You'll be using this chart so you can choose your evidence for your paragraph to answer the question, how does the chameleon change? There's lots of evidence that you could choose. I encourage you to choose one piece of evidence from each column. So one piece of evidence from the beginning, one from the middle, and one from the end. Second graders are such wonderful observers, and you probably observed the check mark in the corner. Again, this is a chance for your classroom teacher to check in with you. At this time, please take out page 2 of Assessment 17. Let's go over the directions together. Number 1. Choose one piece of evidence for each column. Number 2, write the evidence you choose. On your handout, circle step 1, because today you'll be choosing evidence for each column and writing the evidence you choose on page 2 of Assessment 17. Use the chart to complete step 1 of Assessment 17. You'll pause the video here on this chart so you can choose your evidence and record your evidence in the graphic organizer. Once you're done choosing your evidence and jotting your evidence down in the organizer, you can hit play to wrap up today's lesson. What did you learn today about change? Share your new learning with others. I will see you again soon, Dynamite Detectives.